Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to be doing a reading for you guys today. And I asked what this reading was going to be about. And what I heard is everything you have been feeling was true. I don't know why we doubt ourselves to the degree that we do, but you're being told right now you're accurate. You're accurate. Everything that you are feeling, it was accurate. Hold up. Hold up. What's up? Shut up. Okay. Let me just get started. I'm going to get started with a reading. I'm going to get the cards all prepared. And, you know how it goes. It feels like there's a lot to unpack. Okay. It feels like whatever this is something that's just been like super de duper percolating for you for some time now. And maybe you haven't been understanding whatever it is that you're needing to understand. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. Let's get started. I'm pulling cards now. Yes, I am. Okay, I'm not going to freak out for this reading, you guys. I'm not. I'm just not. Right? Okay. There you go. How are you guys doing, by the way? You guys doing good? You guys doing good? You guys are doing fabulous. Tell me you're doing fabulous. Tell me how amazing you slept last night. All right. The final deck that I'm going to pull from. Oh my God. Okay. I just, instead of shuffling, I just cut the cards, the deck 4 times, and whatever card it landed on is what we're dealing with. Okay. Okay, let's get started, okay? So, ooh. Already. Oh, we gotta pull this up. We gotta pull this up because we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. All right. So, new birth guarded vigilantly, but it's in reverse. Someone might be you. Someone is exiting out of their shell, out of their cocoon, out of their chrysalis, out of their incubator, right? They're exiting out. And what is happening is that they're feeling very, very vulnerable. And that vulnerability is something that's causing them to feel like they need to be guarded, probably around you. But do you feel like someone's hesitating with you? Is that what you feel? Like someone is hesitating, like she feels she knows. You feel it, but you don't know what it is. You feel it, you feel something, but you don't know what it is you're feeling. So now you're left in this space of like really, really doubting yourself, right? Maybe it's you that just went through some type of ascension cycle. And ascension cycles oftentimes leave us feeling very, very vulnerable, very much like unable to understand the energies that are wafting around us. There's an energy just kind of wafting around you. It's just like round and round and round around you, right? This is an energy that just cannot go somewhere. It's not that this energy has to go away, it's just that it's so concentrated on you. It's so concentrated around you. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause, but see, it's in reverse. So this is not the same energy of whoever that disrespectful individual was that came out in the other reading, right? This is a different energy than that. This is a reading that's focusing on the healthier energy that is surrounding you. Focus on the light. See, for me, this is kind of like indicating that you are that light in their dark world. Like they are in a very, very dark space, dark emotions. And it's like, there's just something about you that, ooh, okay, this is very specific. I heard there is something about you that still lights them up. Oh, someone who's been watching you for a while. They've been watching you for a while, okay? So, um, do you know who this is? Do you know who it is for you? I'm just curious how sensitive you are and how much you deny that sensitivity. Um, Everything you've been feeling, is this like a business opportunity? Capricorn just came out for me. Is the business opportunity? Is this a way for you to kind of um get better like brand awareness? Is this an opportunity for um like maybe you're trying to create something. Maybe you're trying to get some type of recognition. Maybe you're I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. So you come from a legacy of light, and this is telling me that you you don't quite realize just how advanced you actually are. So you're still kind of in that phase, right? The childhood phase where, yeah, you're looking at things, but you're not really comprehending. And you're being pushed into this adulthood of soul, but your eyes are closed. Your eyes are closed and you're kind of just not doing much with your hands. That's kind of, um, you're not taking much action, but it's because you're still needing to get a better idea of the space that you're now occupying within your life. And that's important. It's important to know where you are. It's important for you to be aware of, like, certain processes that you might be in. Okay. Going beyond normal, but it's in reverse, right? So, you know, there's this feeling from you or from whoever you're feeling that, they shouldn't do anything extra because it's going to be too much. What if it's not received well? What if it's this? What if it's that? I feel an energy. I feel an energy. Um, hmm. We're gonna drink some water. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drink some water. And if this reading continues in the way it's going, we're gonna start taking supplements too. We're just gonna go ahead and start taking supplements because we don't want to be full of water before the gym for no reason. As a matter of fact, let me just take a couple vitamins real quick. I'm just saying, we got to take some selenium, one selenium. I'm not joking. We're going to take a couple of the thyroids because this is just too much for my little heart. It is. It is. We're going to take a B vitamin complex. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna take some pumpkin seed oil. You know, we want to nourish the skin. Michael says, "Are you serious?" Yeah, it's in my hands. I'm saying, we're also gonna add in some of my lung support because your girl's lungs need some support. Oh my gosh, tootin' darn it. Gosh, tootin' darn it. Hold on. Let me actually fully take this for real. And if that's the case, I mean, all that's left is a glutathione, a lysine, and this right here. This one is just, don't do me dirty, okay? Don't do me dirty. I'm saying. I'm saying. Okay. Okay. I have sufficiently I have sufficiently swallowed down my refusal to do this reading. All right, card number 10, releasing allegiances. So all right. Allegiances are shifting. Whatever the previous allegiance was, it's being shifted, it's being released, and you can feel it. Everything you have been feeling is true. Everything you have been feeling is true, and it's something that you need to kind of just come to terms with. Now, put all my damn supplements back in there. Okay. um Everything you've been feeling is true, and it's this thing of you not really wanting to acknowledge the accuracy of it all because of the fact of what it might mean. um Card number 4, against the grain, but it's in reverse. So what this is telling me in reverse is whatever you're dealing with, whoever you're dealing with, they haven't been willing to go against the grain because there's just too many, I guess, too many people all up in the mix, right? Too many people all up in the mix. I don't know if it's because I don't know if it is because, because I'm more of a loner. I have a high tendency to deal with things alone. I tend to not even tell my friends what's going on. I kind of just like, I gotta just figure shit out, right? I usually don't say anything until after the situation is done. I don't know if it's just because I'm that way, but I've never understood. I've never understood the people who live their life in a way where everything has to be done in a group, right? Like you have to go to the bathroom in a group. You have to, when you're dealing with something, like you have to consult with everyone first. And, and then you can start to figure out what you need to do. Like, I don't understand that. I don't. It feels like whatever this is, it's kind of that type of situation for someone that's involved with whatever this is. It's they have all of these people who are chirping in, they're chiming in, they're squawking, surrounded by mother geese, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I only have one mom, and she's the only one that could actually Michael, stop. I was gonna say, I only have one mom, and I feel like she's the only one that could be mother goosing me like that, right? It's not anyone else's job to mother goose me, and Michael says, "But she did tell you." Stop, she doesn't know. She she doesn't know what was happening. My gosh. Marlene, don't say nothing. Marlene leans forward. Don't say nothing. I'm serious. Don't say nothing. Don't say anything at all, please. He's like, "Will you be," she goes, "Will you be upset if I say it?" Just don't say anything. All right. So, power of attraction. You're attracting to you the very situations that you need to get to that next level of understanding just how accurate your perception is. Okay. Hmm? That's what I get from the card. I never joke. I'm serious right now. That's what I got from the card. Well, I'm saying you could start your own channel and make it the Michael channel and do your own readings. I'll even share my cards with you. You could use my cards to do readings. I'm saying. Michael's accusing me of being spicy today. That's what happens when you wake me up at 2 a.m. and won't let me go back to sleep. Mhm. That's what happens. So, card number 17, galactic assistance, but it's in reverse. So, this has to do with an attempt. Mm. So he's kind of right. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense if I don't say it. So, okay. Y'all already know, for those of you who've been watching me for some time, I typically don't use this deck because of this card. This is a twin flame card. Okay. So this is touching on some twin flame stuff. This galactic assistance card in reverse has to do with this program that was pushed out into the collective whole pertaining to the twin flame program. Much of what people participate in when it comes to the twin flame program is a fallen matrix program. It's a reverse grid fallen matrix program, and it's meant to siphon energy from you. The twin flame thing is real, twin ray thing is real, but um it kind of becomes this thing of like, is what you're believing part of the fallen matrix program, that reversal grid? A lot of what has been put out there is because of that fallen matrix program. What you've heard about twin flames and twin rays, this ownership that one has over the other and the other has over the other, um, that's to siphon your energy from you. That is to siphon your energy from you. This concept that we have continued to hear about how you'll never be loved, and you'll never be in divine union with someone unless they're your twin flame. I always okay, Michael, don't say that. Um, I've come across quite a few clients whose twin is their sibling or their parent or their child or a cousin or a best friend. I've come across quite a few people whose twin is like that. That's what role or label they have in their life. How are you going to be romantic with that type of person? Right? I mean, that's just not, it's not okay. So it's this thing of recognizing a lot of what we've been taught to believe regarding the twin flame stuff has to do with this very, and I will say the actual word, demonic, demonic attempt to siphon energy from you. If you look at the twin flame dynamic as it's propagated in social circles, spiritual circles, you see right here, this is just wrong. If you ain't gonna share none, don't mention that pound cake. She's been dangling this damn pound cake in my face since I don't know when. Girl, pound cake is one of my favorites. Please, please, please make it for me. Oh my God. Please. Or you can make that cake from Thanksgiving. I'm just saying. You guys, like, she made this amazing cake for our company, our nonprofit party, and it was I don't even know what it was, but I didn't want to share it. She goes, "I made this for you," and she hands it to me, and I was like, "What is it?" So we're sitting at the table, and I finally take the cover off, and I was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll just taste a little bit because I'm not supposed to have sugar." And I tasted it and I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God." It was so good. And then my kids came up and they're like, "Oh, can I have some?" No. And like, really? Fine. Just a small piece. And they ate it all. They ate it all. They left the last piece for me, but I was just like, it was so good that I wasn't even hungry. I was full. I went ahead and I ate the last piece just so no one else could take it. Just so no one else could take it. I'm just saying. Can that be my twin flame? It's like, I mean, because your girl loves chocolate. I'm saying, your girl loves chocolate. It was chocolate something or other. And then she was like, "Oh, I made a glaze on top." I was like, "I don't give a shit what it is. It's all going in my mouth. All of it." Oh my God, it was so good. I'm just saying. It was so good. It was so good. I'm just thinking about it right now. It's like it makes me feel a certain type of way. Food is like the way to my heart. No other man is allowed to cook for me or feed me because it's just, I might actually fall in love with you. My husband figured that out early on in our dating. He figured that out and he just kept feeding me and feeding me. And I was just like, "Oh my God, I just love you." Wish I was joking. Wish I was joking. I'm not. Okay. Getting back on track. That cake, though. Oh my God. That cake. That cake. I'm saying. Card number 46. Oh, wait. See, you threw me off with your comment. You're making my scalp itch because I want some. Can I like can I have the ingredients delivered to your house and you make more? I'm saying we don't need a party to have that type of stuff. We don't need we don't need a party. We don't need a reason. Life is a good reason. I'm gonna tell Michael whenever he wants me to comply with one of his cockamamie plans, right? Like, "Oh, you want me to do that? I'm not doing." He should just have you, um, totally be like, "Hey, I baked some cake for you, but first you gotta do what Michael said." And I'll be like, "Sure. What did you want again, Michael?" And I will totally do it. So, just pulling my focus back to this reading, the galactic assistants, the whole twin flame thing, um, with this, the galactic assistants in reverse, whatever malignant galactics that were part of the fallen matrix injection into the twin flame concept, they're not going to be able to interfere. They're not going to be able to release more information without very heavy opposition to that. People are not going to just believe things blindly anymore. There will be some, I don't know about those people, but you got to start thinking for yourself. I've said this so many times. If someone has to continuously tell you that you guys are you guys sorry, that you guys are that type of connection, they're probably full of caca. I'm not even joking. They are probably full of caca. I remember for one of my twins, I was like, "Oh my god, so you're a twin." The first one that I found, I was like, "Oh my god, you're a twin." And he was like, "Oh, so what does that mean?" And I was like, "Well, that we're twins." And he was like, "Well, what about Frey and your kids?" What are you talking about? I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Do you have to leave them? Are we supposed to be together?" Fuck no. No, we're not. No, we're not. Like, I don't like you like that. He goes, "Oh. Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, are you gonna be weird about this?" And he's like, "No. No, I mean, everyone says you're supposed to be in some relationship with each other." I was like, "No, we already had a relationship. Like, I call you and I talk shit to you, and then you, like, talk shit back. That's our relationship." And he goes, "Oh, good." And that was it. That was it. Like, it resonated deeply for the first twin that I found. Like, he knew that he's never had a friend like me, and you know, like he's just we've never had a friend like each other until we met each other, right? And he's never been inappropriate. He's never been any of that. He's never tried to convince me of anything. And as a matter of fact, he's actually even hung out with my family. He even slept over, and we had a big old slumber party in the living room. He brought all his bearded dragons and crazy ass lizard pets. And his bearded dragon, and here's the thing, right? His bearded dragon is skittish around people. Diabolita. I was like, okay. Um, it's like very, very skittish around other people. He's the only one that this bearded dragon likes. And he goes and he puts this fucking bearded dragon on me. And I was like, "You better not take a shit on me. I'm telling you." Because I asked him, "What does he do if he gets scared?" He's like, "Oh, he takes a shit." I was like, "He better not shit on me. You just put him on me. I don't want him on me." And he's like, "No, that's weird." And I was like, "What's weird?" And he goes, "I think he thinks you're me." Because his beardy was super chill and just comfortable on me. And I was like, "Well, no, animals are just very comfortable with me." And he's like, "No, I'm pretty sure he thinks you're me." Because he started doing some like behavioral stuff that he only does for my twin. And I was just like, "Oh, well, that's weird." And then later on that evening, my dog is just at the time, the dog that I had was just super duper in love with me and just would anything to be near me. This big ass dog. And her thing was that she always had to be touching some part of me, right? Usually my feet, like she'll sit on my feet, like, you're big. What are you doing? And so she decided to go to sleep because I had my feet tucked in. She decided to go to sleep at his feet and she was just loving it. And I was like, oh my God, she thinks you're me. So it was weird, but it kind of solidified what we both were picking up on, that we probably are twins, you know? So had nothing to do with romance. Absolutely nothing to do with romance. And it had nothing to do with me trying to convince them. When I found my I don't want to say that. And yeah, will you make me that cake if I say it? No, I can't have too much of that. I will eat the whole damn pan is what it is. So anyways, when I met my my other twin, I didn't want to say it, but I was like, oh, well, that's why all of these different synchronicities. And I was talking to a mutual person that we both know. And I totally was like, oh, I think that that's my twin Ray. And that mutual person was like, oh my God, it makes sense. And I was like, what makes sense? Like, what makes sense? What do you mean? And then that person was like, yeah, no, this is this type of bonding is not, it doesn't happen like this for that person. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should maybe I should go away. Maybe I should go away then, because I don't want any issues. So it's nothing that had to be like I had to sit there and take the time to keep trying to convince them and convince them and convince. And that's for all my twins. I've found quite a few. I found quite a few. There's never been this thing of like any of my twins, because I'm not of that mindset where it's like, oh, you have to stop running from me. Like none of them have ever had that type of mindset towards me or have ever expressed that or felt that towards me. Like that's no. No. If you want to claim that I'm your twin and you're like, she just keeps running from me, she's scared of me. Honey, I'm not scared of you. You're disgusting. I'm not even joking. You're disgusting. Your attempt to try and own me by way of manipulation of spiritual concepts is not going to fly with me. I don't give a damn what you pick up on. If I don't feel it, yeah, no, no. If I don't feel it on my own terms without you first telling me that I'm supposed to be feeling something, no. No. And you guys need to get into that same space where it's like you understand that you are your best guidance, that you are highly intuitive, and you have to stop listening to people who are manipulating you by way of your refusal to believe just how magical your ass is. You're magical. You are, though. You're magical. You're magical. And you have to get to a point where that magic needs to be used for your preservation, for your self-healing, okay? Where it's not just, you're using your magical senses to try and avoid certain types of connections, certain types of experiences. You got to make sure, that what you're doing is what is healthiest for you. If you allow yourself to continue in the same spaces that have convinced you that you don't know anything about yourself, that you don't know who you are, I mean, how do you not know who you are? You've been living your life this whole time. The only reason you would think you don't know who you are is because either you've been trying to play the character that other people have been asking you to play, or or you have been made so accustomed, uh, by other people to believe that you have no idea about anything about you. You know yourself. Stop trying to force yourself to accept that you don't know who you are. You do know who you are. You might not like who you are right now, but if you don't like who you are right now, you need to put effort into making the adjustments within yourself and your life so that you can begin liking who you are again. When I existed as nothing but a people pleaser, which I still am a people pleaser to certain degrees for certain situations, not just widespread people pleasing anymore. When I was just a widespread people pleaser, I really didn't like myself very much. I didn't like myself very much. So you need to start making conscious decisions of what you need shifted within yourself. So royal return. There is this elevation in whatever it is that's coming back to you. It could be, excuse me. It could totally be Michael goes, "What are you gonna try and, like, spin this as?" Oh god, whatever. It's a soul connection that's coming back to you. I don't know what type of soul connection. Michael, not everyone has a twin that they're going to be interacting with in this life. Because you don't know what type of soul connection. Not everyone has a twin that they're going to be interacting with in this life. I'm sorry. So, and he just got quiet. Okay. he, he goes, "You're teetering on the edge of the border." What? We're just conversing. We're just conversing, okay? If you can't take my spice, go away. Okay, so what he's trying to say is for some who will be interacting with that that divine reflection, divine counterpart, um there are certain things that are being initiated in order to elevate and accelerate that process of reconnection. Okay. New dimension in reverse. So you're not going to be going anywhere new. This is something that you're going to be experiencing where you're at within your journey. So then that means it's imminent, it's close, the time is nigh. What's that mean? Hold on. Meaning. It's nearly time. Ha. Okay. The time is nigh. So cycles, sigil. These are cycles that were in reverse, and as they spin, they're going to go right side up. So they're going to start spinning and going right side up. It's going to take you on a soul journey that's going to cause you to enter into a state of metamorphosis. You know? I mean, it's okay if you're a people pleaser. You just got to know who is worth pleasing and who is not. Like, some people are just not worth the effort. I say that with zero shame, zero hesitation, zero any of that. Some people are absolutely worth the effort of going out of your way to please them, you know? You can't ask me to not be a people pleaser when that's who I am. I'm a people pleaser. But I've learned that some people are just asshole-ish. I said what I said. Some people are just asshole-ish, and you should not ever go out of your way to feed the asshole-ish ones. Because really, assholes only go one way. They shoot things out. I'm saying, I'm serious. Right? They're not really intended to. I'll leave that analogy alone. I'll leave that analogy alone. Okay. So past life return, but it's in reverse. So the return of shifting into a serious gear, we're downshifting into third. Third gear is serious. Okay. It's time for us to have some grab into this situation. So when the situation circles back around, it's not the return of a past life. This is a new attempt at interaction. This interaction requires a new type of cycle to be initiated. So it's not going to be the same old BS that you may be aware of or might not be aware of. Okay. It's going to be a different type of interaction. Okay, balance in reverse. There's no balance. There's no balance. You're floundering because you're refusing to allow the communication between the self and the soul, you know? Okay. So, um this Michael points out this comment. Being with a twin when you have issues is hard. We mirror each other's emotional states, roller coaster ride for sure. So is being with a narcissist. So is being with someone who has psychological conditions that prevent them from utilizing healthy logic, recognizing and honoring, operating within healthy boundaries. Okay, you guys, I'm not speaking about SC specifically. What I'm making is a general statement of a lot of the people who have the struggles with their twin flame are actually an empath narcissist dynamic, or a narcissist neurodivergent ADHD dynamic, where as someone with ADHD, we have a tendency to overshare information, and they will keep asking and you will keep oversharing. And then that information will be used against you later on, creating the issue, but presented to you as an existing issue that they did not cause. The twin flame dynamic, as propagated by people who support the fallen matrix reverse grid programs, it's set up this way. It is set up this way. Do you know how many people have proclaimed me to be their twin flame? And then because I'm like, that doesn't resonate, they then go ahead and like, Emmy, it's because you have avoidance, whatever. Oh my God, I was watching this video last night. I gotta send it to you guys. I gotta share it. I'm gonna share this video. I was watching this video last night, and okay. I was watching several of these videos last night, and my littlest keeps saying to me, "Is she talking about you?" I was like, "No, it's just A video? No, no, she's not talking about me. I can't share it. It won't allow me to. um, it's demand avoidance, pathological demand avoidance. When I feel like someone's demanding shit from me, I become very avoidant, and the more you try and demand something from me, and you might not be using a demanding tone, but the moment I begin to sense like it's a demand, like there are no other options, I become highly aggressive. I become highly aggressive in my approach, but I'm not in denial of who I am. I'm in denial of your man, the difference. Okay, let me play this video for you guys because I feel like we need to kind of hear this. I feel like this is important to hear.
All right. One of the most devastating things for me, I was crying, but I'm totally fine. I'm having like the best birthday of my life, honestly, just also processing shit. So don't worry about me. One of the most devastating things about growing up on undiagnosed autistic, the problem was not that I was autistic, but that it was diagnosed that my family didn't really have the education. We didn't know. I mean, honestly, my mom was highly educated on autism. And she would tell other families, I think your child might be autistic because my mom is freaking genius. I think she's also PDA, autism, undiagnosed. And the problem was all the books on autism didn't look anything like her kids. She knew we were a little different, but she didn't. No one was talking about PDA. So how it's so hard unless you know about it to see these behaviors. Okay, so I'm getting off track. Let me just get back into my body for just a second. So this may be just like my
PDA is pathological demand avoidance.
experience. Maybe this isn't everybody else as a PDA child, but um, in the external world, PDA kids are like life of the party. Like they're so fun. They're social butterfly. Think Taylor Swift. I'm convinced Taylor Swift is PDA. The diamond's got to shine. That whole thing. Like there's a sparkle to the PDA subtype, and they're on in these places. And it's not fake. They just are genuinely really good people. Most of them, I think. Anyone I've seen or known that has PDA, those are the people I say. Those are the best people. I feel so safe with them. You feel safe with PDA people because genuinely there's like not a bad bone in our body because it would crush us. It would crush us if we knew that we hurt people. And it does. You want to go into marital problems and couples therapy? I'm a couples therapist. Let me tell you how PDA affects marriages. Just kidding. That's not what this one's about. So recenter. Let me get back to my body.
Go back in, refocus, breathe it out. There you
That's
go.
ADHD for you. What's devastating about not having the diagnosis is that at home, unfortunately, is where a lot of the PDA problems happen because kids will be demanding. They'll say, "I'm thirsty. I'm hungry," or something, or like it'll be like a demand because we like to narrate our world, and people around us are like, "Why are you so demanding? Why are you demanding?" And we're like, "We're not. We're just like explaining what we're feeling." But neurotypicals experience it as demanding, and that's true for them. And and it's also true for us that we're experiencing fight or flight because we're hungry or thirsty, right? And we need help and don't have language for it. So like parents can start to feel like these PDA kids are manipulative or like sneaky because in a sense they're correct. PDA kids are manipulative in that they can read social cues and they know how to get what they need, get their needs met most of the time. But they're not being sneaky. They're trying to get out of fight or flight. And everyone else in their life sees this sparkly, fun, bright, brilliant child, and it's so sad the parents can't see it.
So, are you someone who potentially has struggles with pathological demand avoidance? Where at some point in your life, having your basic needs um, be made aware of by the adults in your environment, by whoever's taking care of you, it became something where there was a um, negative thing attached to it. And so now when it feels like you have no other options, where it's like you have to wash the dishes, you have to brush your hair, you have to change out of your jammies, you're like, I don't want to. I don't want to, right? And then comes this thing of like being neurodivergent and you're living in a neurotypical world. And what ends up happening, I'm not a psychologist, so these are just my thoughts, okay? What ends up happening is you try and apply things to you in your life that really are non applicable because you don't function in that way. You don't receive information in that way. You don't process the information and apply the information in the way that a neurotypical person would. And now it's kind of this thing of like, I don't fit into the world, so let me grasp at straws in the spiritual realm. And because we're being taught that there is someone who can understand you, there is one person in this world who I can deeply understand but have no idea anything about anything with that person. That would be my twin ray. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're trying to communicate. Why did you say that? Why did you, I don't get it. I can pick up on cues, but I don't know how to apply it. Because when you feel like you're in fight or flight, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? That really kicks in that PDA, pathological demand avoidance. And you guys see me go through cycles of this pretty much every reading. Michael will say something, why do I have to say that? Do I have to? Why? I don't want to, you know, because I'm already aware that there is a component to that that I cannot go around. And so, because it seems like my options are limited in regards to what I'm communicating and the ramifications of what I'm communicating, um, it becomes this thing where I become highly avoidant of it. Now, when you have all of these pre-existing conditions that you're not even aware why you function in the way you do, and you have minimal understanding of the type of support that you need, and therefore you begin really diving into these fallen matrix spiritual practices, what ends up happening is you fall for this whole twin flame thing, and you begin to create these excuses like, this is the one person that's going to understand me, and if they don't understand me, then I'm the issue. Well, maybe the issue is they're not who you think they are. Maybe that's the issue, that they are not who you think they are. Or maybe part of the issue is that you're expecting an ascended master to be your counterpart. Yeah, maybe in the aether, maybe in the etheric realms where you have no physical form. Maybe, yeah, they're an ascended master there. But the moment you enter into physical body, the compression that occurs because of the density of your body, that distorts everything. That distorts everything, literally everything. Did you know I had seen my twin ray's eyes since I was a child? Like, I know those eyes. I know those eyes. I know that particular color. I know the patterning of the iris. And I met someone when I was like 18, and I thought that was the person. Now, I didn't understand the concept of twin flames, but I was like, oh, this is a person that I've been seeing my whole life. It wasn't. Well, that's a story for another time that I probably don't want to share, but yeah. So it's this thing of like, we need to understand that our understanding is a very limited one when it comes to spiritual concepts. So, in no way, shape, or form should we live our lives based on concepts we don't understand. No point should you do that. At no point should you do that. None. Nope. For example, you're going to change your dietary preferences, right? Because someone told you that blah 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 um is spiritual and yada 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 and blah 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 blah, bioelectrical fields and this and that and toroidal fields and yeah, that's all lovely, that is a lovely explanation. but we're all unique in our composition and needs. Yes, we all have bioelectric magnetic fields. Yes, we all have toroidal fields that are, emanating, circulating information from our higher selves through every part of your body. But where are you anchored at? What level of frequency are you anchored at? Because that's what's going to determine what type of diet you should have and what is compatible with you and what is not. And your knowledge of genetically modified organisms and the types of manipulations that have been, set out into the general public regarding what is healthy and what is not. The food pyramid itself is something that's kind of like, how did you come up with this information? Why did you come up with this information? These are questions that need to be asked, because you need to understand the root causation of why these programs are set in place. They were directed at neurodivergence, the emergence of the neurodivergence. Mhm. They were. You pair that information with the information regarding glyphosate and synergistic toxicity, and you'll begin to understand why that's the base of the pyramid. Yeah. For someone who is high frequency, I mean, forget about the whole twin topic. For someone who has a high resting frequency, grains of all kinds are much more toxic to you and your spiritual nature than meat. For real, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Now, if you're low frequency, if you're naturally a low resting frequency, absolutely. Veganism is prime dietary options for you. We need to raise your frequency by consuming living energy. And these are things people are not going to talk about it. They're not going to talk about it because they're so convinced that, they heard from someone who sounds spiritual and wears, a dashiki. And, regardless of what their ethnicity is, they're wearing all of these culturally appropriated aesthetics because it's an aesthetic. It's a spiritual aesthetic. This is who you're listening to about the way you allow someone to treat you. That's who you're listening to. You're listening to someone who has clout because of the aesthetic. That's who you're listening to. That's who. I mean, you got to be careful because you're making these decisions for your life. And just because someone else told you to do it does not mean they have to take responsibility for a decision that's ultimately yours. You decide these things, you live with a consequence of that. You don't get to later be like, well, no, like I should not be blamed for my life going this way because the spiritual person told me that I married my twin flame. I'm sorry. That's not your twin. That's that's not your twin. You guys might have a very deep soul connection, right? I wouldn't say the marriage was completely unnecessary. Clearly, you needed to experience some type of time together, right? But if you're holding on to something that's falling apart just because of the label, there's a tensile strength to duct tape that after a certain point, that duct tape is going to tear. Okay. Don't use labels as duct tape or gorilla tape or whatever other kind of tape you want to put onto a situation. You have to be able to live in a way that sets you free. And I don't mean sets you free by leaving situations, leaving relationships. I mean sets you free to grow and expand in your awareness of where you're at within your life, within the lessons your life is providing you. That's what I mean. You have to be able to go ahead and really truly live in the now, be in the present, allow yourself to be gifted every single day with another shift in your awareness, just 1 degree at a time. Is okay. So these two programs, the spiritual hiding nest, uh the spiritual guide and the twin flame, it's a very similar program. It's a very, very, very similar program. It opens you up to vulnerabilities of being accessed by things outside of you, external consciousness. How do you know if that spirit guide or that twin flame is not a demonic presence? How do you know? Can you tell? Do you have the same type of sensitivities? Like, I mean, the same type of sensitivities as me. Um, you know, I've come across people who they're not clients and they've shared this in live streams in the comments. I had someone who was like absolutely livid with me because they were expecting me to validate their belief that they have been having astral dates with their twin flame. And they wanted me to basically publicly roast someone who read for them and told them that that's a demon. And I was like, honey, that being that you're fornicating with on the astral, because they were talking about they were fornicating on the astral. They would have these dates and they would fornicate. And I was like, that's actually an incubus. That's a sexual demon. That's a male sexual demon. Oh, they got so mad at me. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. A latch point is a point of vulnerability within your auric field they can anchor into in order to facilitate feeding. That's what a latch point is. Kavi's asking, what is that? What a latch point is? Latch points are usually areas of deficiency within the auric field. Deficient energy, deficient emotions, deficient logic, whatever it is, these pockets that exist within you because whatever was occupying that has been rejected by you. Yeah. So for those who truly believe that they're supposed to have a twin flame in this life because you guys are supposed to do work together, you can do a very similar type of process that I'm actively in right now. I'm not rejecting the twin flame. I'm allowing, or the twin ray, I'm allowing that space to be occupied by the higher self of my twin ray. That doesn't mean that now some human male is obligated to contact me and be a part of my life. Like, no, you don't have to. That's not a requirement. But I do have these pockets of emptiness that have existed within me that, whatever it was that I rejected about myself, about my experience, whatever it is, rejected emotions, rejected capabilities, whatever that is, uh, components of my twin ray's higher self occupy those spaces, you know? So it's just, one of those things. It's just one of those things. It's okay to have that energy around you when it's your actual twin ray. Like, for example, how can I tell that it's my actual twin ray? Well, whenever things are popping off and I'm doing expedites or people are trying to do malignant things to me while I'm live streaming, y'all bitches think I don't know. I just ignore most of it. Yeah, no, yeah, no, because you're weak. I'm not laughing because I'm joking. I'm laughing because it's true. Weak ass. So people try and do things while I'm live. That's every live stream. And if they're able to reach enough potency in their frequency, which is not very often, Um, I don't even have to reach out to my twin, right? I don't have to call them. I don't have to message them. I don't have to reach out in real life. I don't have to call them in my head or any of that. They're just immediately there. They're just immediately there because that's how it works, right? And you guys have heard me a while back, it was like you're going to trigger a twin ray response. If your energy is going to be threatening in that way to that degree, hell yeah, you're going to trigger that. I don't know if you want none of that. I'm saying. I don't know if you want none of that. It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay. So that's what that twin ray connection actually is. It has nothing to do with the human concept of what a twin ray connection is or a twin flame connection. I'm not married to my twin flame, you guys. I'm not married to my twin flame. I'm not married to my twin ray. I have a very good marriage. I am treated very, very well. You know, I'm treated very, very well. So it's not that you can't have something healthy unless it's with a twin. And it's not that just because you feel someone, that means they're a twin. Like, why do you even need that label? That's the thing. I think if we get to the root of that question and that answer to that question of why do you need to place that label, you'll begin to understand some of the different psychological pathologies that are existing without acknowledgement inside you. Right? We all have some level of psychological pathology. We all have some degree, some whatever, however you want to phrase it, of issues. All of us, every single last person has some type of emotional, mental issue that we struggle with from time to time. Excuse me. It's not a pathology unless it affects your day to day quality of life. And that's the thing. I think for many of us, we've begun to identify as the things we're experiencing, the hardships we experience, that it begins to interfere with our day-to-day quality of life. And then we begin to think that this is what we are. No, no, you know, no. So we all need to take a time out from the belief structures that we adhere to because someone told us something that justifies whatever it is that we actually wanted. You know, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular, but that's kind of the stuff that I've seen is that people will hold on to these labels that they've affixed on others because it justifies their ownership of the other person. And that's not okay. It's not okay. There was a person who was banned from purchasing anything from me, from being part of live streams and all of that. I made another account and like banned again. And then several months later, they went ahead and they intentionally entered into my brother's home. Yeah. And here my brother thinks this is someone I know, someone I'm good with. And this person waited until 3 a.m. hoping I'll come home. I don't live there. Yeah. And my brother was, he didn't want to be rude. Because that person believes I'm their twin flame. To the point where I've had other people who have had enough of their crazy and reach out to me and like, hey, this is something you need to know because it's concerning at this point. All of that justified because of a label they put on me that's not even accurate for me. The delusion of the twin flame program is so intense. This is an individual who purchased a past life reading during a public live stream, and what came out, the lifetime that their higher self shared with me, was that in that lifetime, I was in fact in a monogamous relationship with my twin ray, and we had a child. And this person who purchased the expedite, who purchased the past life reading, abducted my child in order to do some ritual with my child. And the details that I shared was that me and my twin ray caught up with them in the forest and decapitated them. And you know what their message was after the live stream? It was something along the lines of, I know you so well, you don't have to feel bad or blame yourself. What? I'm in your circle of trust and I understand, reach out to me if you're struggling with the reading. I'm not struggling with anything. In no way, shape, or form will I ever trust you. You stole one of my children in a previous life. Are you crazy? That's not circle of trust, baby boo. That's not twin flame shit, baby boo. I'm telling you, that's not twin flame. But yeah, no, that was completely ignored because they had convinced themselves that I belong with them, that I'm a closet lesbian and I belong with them, that I'm not happy in my marriage, that I am in denial that I am actually a lesbian, because obviously they're a lesbian, and yeah, and they need to liberate me from my controlling husband that I'm not happy with. Yo, my husband never tells me no for nothing. Controlling my ass. You think a person like me would be with someone who's controlling? Oh, please. Please. Try and control me, see what happens. Try and control me, see what happens. That goes for anybody. Try and control me and see what happens. Make statements that make me feel like I have no other option but to bend to your will and see what happens. We just spoke about pathological demand avoidance. Like, no, I'm not doing shit. You wanna punish me? Go ahead. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It's fine. I have the ability to dissociate. Go ahead. I don't care. I really don't. So you got to think about all of these different things that you've been experiencing with this twin flame, with a program of the twin flame. Again, it's a real thing, but a lot of what's been shared publicly, widespread, it's caca. It's caca. The twin flame concept, as it's shared on social media, is the equivalent of Freely the Banana Girl and her dietary freaking suggestions. Right? I don't know. I just came across that yesterday. I was like, "Oh, girl. That's a good way to feed candida. 17 bananas a day." That's a very good way to feed candida with fructose. Fructose is just fruit sugar. High fructose corn syrup is the concentrated, highly modified sugar from fruits. So, hope. So, we need to take a time out from the program, right? For many of us, we're existing in a place of hope, but failing to allow our intuition to play its proper role. When you have your intuition functioning properly, you won't need hope. You'll consistently be in a state of gnosis where you just know that everything will work out, that you will be receiving the guidance, the assistance, when you need it, and that all you have to do is be fully present in what you are learning, take the appropriate action as your soul guides you to take, and then accept the help that your soul brings to you. Right? So, a lot of what we're learning in spiritual circles, in society, is actually a very convoluted, fallen reversal grid matrix. Okay? Self worth. It's about finding what you're actually worth for yourself, no longer allowing people to tell you what you're worth, right? You have a question about integration. What exactly is the integration question? Dinas, this right here, this is indicative of trauma, childhood trauma. My problem was accepting the help. Hyper independence typically is present when, you know, as a child, as a young adult, you've become accustomed to the people in your life that are supposed to protect you, provide for you, assist you, guide you, where they consistently fail you, where you feel abandoned and rejected. And so you've learned no one will help you. There's another symptom as well when you talk to yourself, right? When you're going through problems and you talk to yourself, and the more intense the problem, the more you'll talk to yourself. That's because you've learned that no one listens to you. So instead, you talk to yourself. It's not safe to speak to anyone else, and you speak to yourself instead. So I've said before that I've lived a life that has been very ripe with very traumatic type events, and I still to this day, I've gotten better, but I still to this day have struggles with accepting help, with making known that I need help. I have troubles with communicating for my personal needs, my personal feelings, and things like that. I have huge struggles with knowing that other people are witnessing me processing emotions. I mean, you'd never guess that because I live stream as often as I do, and I'm as authentic as I am in the live streams. But these are struggles that are very deeply rooted. And the fact that you don't see how much I struggle with every single life, I'm having an anxiety problem right now. This whole live stream, I've been struggling with tempering my anxiety. But because of the history that I've lived through, I've learned how to successfully and powerfully mask through a very robust, very articulate type of communication. The gravity of my ability to mask and dissociate from my emotions while I'm masking has been a survival tactic my whole life. That's why I say when people think they know me, I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't. Until you've seen me without that mask on, struggling to breathe because I'm having anxiety. Deep breath after deep breath, trying to convince my chest to release so I could breathe normally, right? Do we really know who it is um, that we are welcoming into our circle, our innermost circle of trust? Do we really know who this is? Or have you fallen for that hook, line, and sinker of, you know, you're having these experiences with someone that you haven't had with anyone before. And so it's like, this must be something elevated. This must be my twin. And we feel each other and we think each other's thoughts. I feel everyone, right? You guys have seen me address people who are not commenting because I hear their thoughts. I'm saying, is that person my twin? Maybe it's time to stop projecting the emergence of our gifts out onto other people and instead begin accepting, oh, my empathy is turning into an activation of one of my clairs. Mhm. My clairs are activating Thank you, person, for being part of this process, for possibly being the impetus, the initiator of this process of helping me activate my abilities. You got to stop believing in this concept that you were made fractured, that you entered into this life with parts of you already missing. My twin ray is a counterpart, not my missing parts. My husband is not even my better half. He's my PIC. I swear, people are like, oh, your husband's controlling. Bitch, he co-signed everything. What you talking about? People be too much. They try and say all kind of shit to justify their attempts. Attempts. Baby boo. Stop it. You're hurting your own feelings because I'm not interested. I'm saying. And for the people who think like my husband is jealous of you, jealous of what? You don't have my attention. I have ADHD. I have the most squirrelest brain ever. Honey, you never had my attention. To date, my husband is the only man who has made it past 3 months of receiving attention from me. Literally. He is the only man alive that has been able to receive attention from me consistently past 3 months. Most people don't make it past 3 weeks. By the 3rd week, there's nothing I can deny about what I've seen about you and your character, and I'm just good. I'm serious. I'm just good. Like, this is not going to end well. It's fine. I'm good. Bye. Patience in reverse. We have such a lack of patience for ourselves in our process, and that's being exploited. That exploitation is oftentimes the place of anchoring for all of those parasitic attempts to enter your field, to incept thoughts, to whisper in your ear using the sound of your voice so you think it's your thoughts. Parasites do that. I don't know if you know. They use the sound of your voice, and if you don't know that you have a parasitic circumstance, you think they're your thoughts. What do you think intrusive thoughts are? That's what intrusive thoughts are. That's what they are. It's demonic interference. So, you don't necessarily have to have a latching to have demonic interference like that, to have an intrusive thought. Yesterday, my oldest was standing there holding a platter of paleo cookies, and I know those cookies are soft, and I was like, because something quickly was like, just smack the platter, just, and I was like, no. And then my husband saw it. He's like, you were gonna do something, and I was like, I wasn't. I wasn't. But it was just that immediate thought of like, smack the platter, because that would be funny. No, it wouldn't. That is not my sibling. That is my son. My siblings and I, we would totally play like that. But that's my son. We don't play like that with our children. And he's like, Mom. It was funny. I didn't do it. But that's an intrusive thought. That's absolutely an intrusive thought. What would have happened had I actually done that? For me and the way I grew up, that shit would have been funny. For the way my son grew up, why would you do that to me and my cookies? I'm so sorry, son. He's like, Mom, I'm sorry. I have intrusive thoughts at times. But you got to let go of these programs. You have to allow yourself to begin actively feeling and sensing. You know what you feel. It might take you some time to make sense of what you feel, but you know what you're feeling. Okay. Last 4 cards. All right. So here goes. Okay. Card number 19. Libra, I balance. All my life, my heart has yearned for a thing I cannot name. See, what you're yearning for is a return back to your divine state. And you've been allowing yourself to be convinced that the twin flame is what's going to get you back to that divine state. Because if you have sex with someone and it's considered divine, then now by virtue of that divinity, you also are divine. No, that's not true. That's not true. I have seen person after 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 person. You get my point, right? Nonstop. People like, oh my God, that person just absolutely wrecked me. I'm not the same after that. Yeah, that was not a twin. I had someone years ago, right? Um, way back when I was still really, really deep into playing normal and not saying anything and pretending like I knew nothing. Um, this person was like, "Oh, you have a twin coming soon." And I was like, "Mhm." No, he just left. I didn't say that though. I was like, "Oh, we just kind of stopped talking." So she's like, "Yeah, no, your twin is going through something intense." I was like, "I bet." And then she's like, "You have to leave your husband." What? Yeah, no, you're supposed to be together and you need to like leave your husband like now so that you can help your twin. He needs you. What the fuck are you saying? You're advising me to leave my husband of at that time it was like what, 17 years, 16 years, 18 years? I don't know. It was quite a long time already. You want me to leave my husband and all of our children because some strange man needs me to fix his life. Oh, Emmy, you just don't get it. I don't. I don't get that. Why would you feel like we're close enough for you to give me marital advice? You're not even fucking married. I'm saying. And then this person's like, I know it's hard. It's hard, but your husband is just your karmic. Like, my twin is currently married to his karmic and she's a monster. She's the reason we're not together right now, but he's going to leave her and we're going to be in union. I was just like, oh, so you're having an affair with a married man? Oh, no, it's his karmic. He married his karmic and like, you know, no, no, you're having an affair with a married man. You're advising me to terminate my marriage and abandon my children so I too can have an affair. The fuck are you talking about? So I stopped talking to that person. I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I gotta go. I gotta go. And then a couple years later, maybe it was a year or two later, that same person reached out and I was like, I thought, how do you even know that's your twin? I don't think that's your twin. And she was convinced, so super duper convinced. And she's like, you just don't get it, Emmy. You just don't get it. Like you're not into the spiritual realm the way I am. Okay. I don't care. Sure. And then like a year, maybe 2 years later, I think it was a year, she messages me back and she's like, "Oh my God, I've fallen out of union and it was the most horrible experience." Like, I was like, "Oh, well, did you move in together? What happened?" And it was this thing of like, he did leave his wife for her, and then he racked up her credit cards, and they were supposed to go halves on rent, which he never paid his half. And so she's about to be evicted. He left. She's about to be evicted. She doesn't have enough money to cover all of the back rent plus the current rent. And he left the place a mess and I think he punched holes in the wall or something like that. I don't remember. Um, and so now she's going to be out of the deposit plus some more. And the landlord is preparing to sue her. What happened to divine union? What happened to the divine union? I mean, that was supposed to be forever. It's your perfect match. You know how many people have came to me with stories like that? Where I told them like that's not your twin. And they get real fucking mad at me because I'm being a total jealous bitch. Honey, I don't want what you want. I don't want what you have or think you have. I have my own and I'm not insecure. My husband cherishes me every day, and he doesn't have to be a twin to love me in the way I need. That's the thing. I'm totally a woman who doesn't care if a man compliments her. Why? Because my husband compliments me every day. Every day. He has never shamed me for being any size, whether too big or too small. He's lived with me and loved me at 230 pounds. At my height, that's morbidly obese. And he has sat there and loved me and loved me and loved me at 90 pounds, looking emaciated. And in his words, so skinny that my teeth look too big for my head. Your teeth look hella big. Mm-hmm. And at no point have I ever wondered if my husband is a twin. I've simply enjoyed the way he has loved me all of these years. Y'all need to quit playing yourselves with that bullshit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, y'all need to quit playing yourselves with that bullshit. There is no person that this man has to be worried about talking to, like, because he knows I'm like, I'm not stupid. I got it real good. I got it real fucking good. I'm not going nowhere. As a matter of fact, motherfucker, try and get rid of me. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get rid of me. Yeah. And look here, I told y'all, controlling my ass. He co-signs every damn thing. He co-signs everything. Fuck out of here if you think you know who I'm married to. He's a Gemini. He co-signs everything. He doesn't give a shit. Okay, so here's the thing. This card doop, is the 7th house of partners and marriage. Those influenced by this sign do best to live life with a partner, but it can be the sign of codependency. And many will pair up at the drop of a hat. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm saying, it's that codependency. You have to address the codependency that exists inside you and that you're projecting onto someone. If you cannot make yourself feel whole, you have no right to expect that of someone outside of you. I am responsible for my happiness. My husband is not obligated to make me happy. He is invited to share this happiness with me, to witness the happiness that I live. Right? Right. So, right now, everything must be fair and balanced. What I was just talking about has to be fair and balanced. If you're trying to call in a twin flame, let me show you some crazy shit right here. Hold up. Hold up. I just remembered. Let me show you this, okay? Let me show you this, and this greatly ties into some twin flame program stuff. Watch this. I hope there's no music, because if there's music, I'm going to have to not play it.
person who's telling you they don't want to be with you. Well, in the moment, while they're saying those things, you want to practice revision. So, for example, I manifested my ex back, and wow, it's going great. Listen, he has said some terrible things to me. He has said he's not ready for a relationship. He doesn't want to live together. He doesn't see a future with us. He doesn't see us getting married. He's not in love with me. He sees me as just a friend. He wants space. He doesn't want to talk anymore. He doesn't see this ever working out. Yes, he has said all of those things to me. But I manifested all of that to change. We have a house together now. We are building a future, and our relationship is so unbelievably happy and healthy. I want you guys to have that too. And so I'm going to tell you how you can deal with things in the moment. When your partner is saying things that you don't want to hear and you want to use manifestation to fix it, what you do is you tune them out respectfully, but you stop listening. And what you start doing instead is this creator blocked.
How did watching that make you feel? Like, be genuine. How did watching that make you feel? I can't even look y'all in the eyes. How did that make you feel? Was it like, did it feel good? Or did it make you cringe? Did it make you feel like, ew? Ew, like, that's how most people look when they're trying to force someone into twin flamedom. For real. That's what I see, feel, that's how I experience it when people are consistently like, "No, but you don't understand me. This is my twin. This is my actual twin. This is my twin." That's it right there. That is like in a nutshell. That's in a nutshell. That's a twin program in a nutshell. We can manifest this. We can meditate on this. We can like cast spells for this. For some of you, maybe what you're feeling is someone having that same type of logic towards you about the whole twin thing. I'm saying, like, do y'all need to watch that again? Do you need to watch that again? Okay. Do y'all need to watch that again? Do you want to be that girl? The toxic spiritual girl. I don't know what her screen name is. I didn't want to know. But I'm saying, y'all need to make sure that what you're doing carries integrity at all times. All times. Bow to my husband. Then I turn around. Yeah, no, I'm saying. Is my husband still here? Honey, don't you feel like so blessed that you don't have a crazy wife like that? I'm saying, like, your wife is spiritual, but not like that. No, like, ew. Okay, don't you feel blessed? Hold on. I think I have a eyelash going into my eye. All right. Wait, what? Card number 43. Lunar eclipse change. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Ooh, I'm saying. Okay. When this card presents itself in a reading, dramatic changes are in store. Such changes will likely be unexpected ones, the kind that might seem hard or will take some special effort on your part. These will not be gradual, easy, barely noticed transformations. Your world may be rattled somewhat. It will seem more like a revolution. Do not be alarmed, however, because this altering of your life is essential in getting you where you need to be. We are all here to share our gifts and lead others to theirs. It's never an easy path. Eclipses can bring on times which seem shadowy and disordered, but they are not necessarily bad and should not be viewed as such. We are meant to be thrown off balance to make necessary changes. It's a time of seeing the light and focusing on something you have either put off or didn't exactly notice was coming up. So, the things that you're feeling, you're accurate, but your sense of what that is might not be so accurate. It might be something that's very much or has become very much convoluted, right? It might be something that maybe, you're wondering why or what this all means and you don't understand, and that's okay. Quiet down for a moment, take a step back, take some time to kind of gain your bearings, try and make sense of why you're feeling the way you are, why you're interpreting things in the way that you are. Just really start thinking for yourself. Don't be so quick to explain it away as some, celestial happening. Card number 42. Card number 42, South Node, Life's Debts. Karma, when properly understood, is just the mechanics through which consciousness manifests. So, what that means, thank you, Mr. Chopra. What that means is karma is miasma. Miasma is frozen light code. If you've ever tried to see out of your windshield during cold weather and it snowed the night before and you have a frozen layer of morning dew, it's going to be a distorted view. You're not going to be able to see clearly. And so, what you're going to need to do is learn how to clear that. A mixture of alcohol and water in a spray bottle. Alcohol has a higher freezing temperature. And so, if you spray that, it turns it into slush and you can easily wipe it off. You're welcome. Never put hot or warm water on a windshield that's frozen. You will shatter your shit. You're welcome. Okay. So with the miasmic distortion, the karma, it's nothing about punishment. It's nothing about your destiny to be in a romantic relationship with someone. Now, don't get me wrong. For some of you, you will enter into a romantic relationship. But what makes you think you're so special that it's you? That was rude. It's what was on my mind. It's what came out. I'm very sorry for the delivery. Don't be in this mindset where you are so desperate to be able to have something tangible to prove to people you are special. You're already special. I'm serious. You're already special. No one else can be you. So why do you need to impress people who don't have the capacity to understand the greatness that you are, as you are right now in this moment? You see how that's kind of crazy? I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm talking about how we are programmed to believe, the way we are programmed to function in society is crazy. People won't know you're special until you take the time to cultivate your understanding of your specialness, your uniqueness, and begin to openly share how unique you are with other people. Those who have been with me since 2017, you have seen me change and shift and grow down to the way I speak, the sound of my voice when I speak. What is that telling you? That it's taken me this long to begin the process, and I'm nowhere near the middle point, to begin the process of learning how special my uniqueness is and embracing that. Just really allowing myself to embrace it. Okay. The south node represents a karmic point in our charts where certain matters must be discharged or cast off in order to develop and move on towards greater things. So, whatever preconceived notion you've had, you need to discharge it, you need to release it, you need to cast it off, okay? This is a place where we are challenged and growth occurs through some kind of pain, okay? While the north node opens doorways, the south node represents karmic debts that can make life circumstance hard. Karmic debts are hard because of our perception of what karma is and how it forces us into a state of obligatory existence. When this card turns up in a reading, it's a turning point. It's a time of endings and beginnings. Understand that there is something about to close that has been held in place for a long time. Familiar ways will end, ushering you forward in new ways through different developments. You are ready to step out of the rut and align yourself with a higher vision. You may be evaluating certain aspects of your life to realize there's no longer any connection there and that it's time to move on. Be assured you'll have a stronger foundation for your next venture. Doors slam, but in recognizing what needs to end, it helps you to move on towards further maturity. So the goal here is about you, your growth, your healing. It's about restrictions, challenge, inborn gifts, dramatic sweeping change, doors closing while others open, breaking free of fetters, psychic breaks that bring on full potential, endings, usually with long-term trauma, letting go, wake-up calls, repetition. Okay. What cycles have you continued to repeat over and over and over because of some flawed spiritual teaching? Spirituality that's lived is not flawed. Spirituality that's taught is absolutely flawed because it carries with it an intrinsic bias that exists within the person teaching you about the concept. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Card number 48, Yod, destiny. A person often meets his destiny on the road he took to avoid it. Everything you've been feeling is true, no matter how much you try and avoid what you feel. Your higher self is already giving you an indication of what's going to happen. For some of you, it's this feeling of an impending breakup. I don't know that I can celebrate that. I don't want you hurting. For others of you, it's the feeling of an impending arrival. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's going to be romantic. I just know it's going to be profound. I know it's going to be profound for those who are ready to allow themselves to expand in their awareness of their perception and the way they live their life. When your perception expands, the way you live your life changes as well. You can't stay in the same place. You can only be stretched to a certain point before you cannot go back to your original state. And it's just this thing of, there's a lot of changes coming about, and you got to kind of allow yourself to be ready to be fully present as you experience the things that you're needing to experience. I'm hoping that for most of you, whatever it is you need to experience is something that's going to be favorable, something that's going to be beneficial for you in a way that is enjoyable. No matter what this is, it's going to be favorable for you once you're through with it because it's going to help you learn and expand your awareness of yourself and your existence. Will you enjoy it as you go through it? I don't know. I don't know. Possible. Possibly. 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 I don't know. Okay, let's see. Yod configuration is influential and implies that there is a disruptive force at work. So someone or something is trying to prevent this event from happening. It's too late. You've entered into an event horizon. It's too late. It can't be stopped. It cannot be stopped. In a sense, this astrological placement of planets is somewhat in exile from other planetary energies because they are not harmonious with each other and therefore cause tension. This can bring about feelings of intense stress and restriction. There can also be a sense of being different, feeling alone, and of being out of step with others at times. A yod in a natal chart can even indicate being the black sheep of the family. I am the yod. I am the yod of every group, so I created my own group. When the yod card presents itself in a reading, in a yeeting, in a reading, it means that the situation may be chaotic or may soon turn that way. It will be hard to see any clear path because of this chaos, but it will be important to weather through it all. This is not always bad because it's a process of finding what works and what isn't functioning. And now will be the time to be scaling things down and weeding out what is unnecessary. More than that, this card is about finding your own truth, even though the truth may not be reflected through others. So it's about this recognition of what your truth is, um, based on, that reciprocal reflection. You're not in the right environment if they're not reflecting the truth as you know it to be, right? If they're not able to reflect back to you your needs and your wants and there's no alignment, you're in the wrong environment. You may wish for more support when this card comes up and will have to manage this all on your own. Another development may turn up, and that is you will prefer to work it out on your own without any interference from others. This card can denote a time to voyage inward and come to your own truth. There really isn't anyone who will have the tools to figure this out more so than you at this time. Let me read that, okay? There really isn't anyone who will have the tools to figure this out more so than you at this time. Let me read that again. There really isn't anyone who will have the tools to figure this out more so than you at this time. Stop listening to people who have no idea who you are. Stop listening to people who have no idea what your purpose is. I'm one of those people. I have no idea what your purpose is. So you are not to take anything I say at face value, accept it as truth. If it resonates, consider it, think on it, and see how it applies to you in your life in the way you choose to have it apply. But at no point do you allow me to have that type of authority, dominion over you. You must think for yourself. You must find the pieces yourself, and you must put the puzzle pieces together yourself. Okay? This card can denote a time to voyage inward. Okay. Your inner knowing. Oh, wait. So now may not be the best time to take advice from others. You know what I'm saying? Your inner knowing has it already. You just have to take the time to process the information to come to your own answers. Like, didn't I say that? At times, when the Yod card turns up, there will be health issues that will need to be dealt with and solved before moving forward. I'm dealing with my hormones. We're going well. Let's see. More positively, this card means that circumstances are good for achieving your goal, but be prepared for sacrifices on your part and not just one, but several. You're going to have to let go of all the things that keep you tethered to the same space, a space that is not conducive for your growth and healing. Patience and adaptability are necessary in making the situation work to fulfill your greater purpose, the one you were born for. See what I'm saying? Everything you're feeling is leading up to a major, major pivot point in your life. It's up to you if you want to pivot or if you want to use that point to go ahead and fall flat on your ass. You'll be fine. It might be uncomfortable for a little bit. You'll be fine. You'll pick yourself back up. You will get up. You will walk forward and you will learn how to pivot better. That's it. There's no like all or nothing. There's no you're going to be punished if you don't listen to Emmy. There's none of that. None of that at all. So take this information, see how it applies to your life, see what you need to do in order to allow yourself to get to a point where you are in a better relationship with yourself. Okay? You can only allow yourself to receive love to the depth and degree that you have learned to love yourself. It's not that people cannot love you until you learn to love yourself. It's that you will refuse to receive the love you are given until you learn how to receive. Because in allowing yourself to receive, you are practicing love for self. So get working on that. Allow yourself to begin connecting to the people that you need, the people that will help you to better understand who you are, your purpose, your proper place in life. Sometimes the reason life hurts so much is because we're in the wrong place, at the wrong time, doing the wrong things with the wrong people. And sometimes the realization of that is so painful that it causes us to try and avoid the reality of what we have agreed to experience. Think on this really quick. Maybe you needed to experience that and feel that pain to understand there's a different way. There's a different life inviting you to live it. And until you experience the opposing polarity of what you deserve, what would make you happy, you won't know what it is that will make you happy and what you're working towards. We want the answer without asking the question. Well, but Emmy, I don't know the question. Yeah, because you haven't lived the struggle yet that would cause you to ask the question. I just gave you the reason why we struggle through life. So live, ask questions, go through the things you go through so that you can find the questions you need to ask to get the answers you need so that you can get to the places you want to be. Life is not that hard. We make it much harder than what it is, myself included. Myself included. I make life so much harder than it is because it's still difficult for me to receive the ease and goodness that life wants to give me. We struggle because we've been programmed from childhood to believe that is what we deserve. Struggle. You deserve so much more than what you realize. You deserve so much more than what you realize. And my only purpose in your life is to shake you up to the degree that you're like, why the fuck are you shaking me, woman? Good. Now you're asking questions. What other questions do you want to ask? Guys, I hope that you were able to get whatever you needed from this reading, from church. Just take a deep breath. Life is going to be okay. You can feel you're being pushed towards some greatness that you probably feel like you don't deserve yet. You're in the process of learning, seeing, witnessing firsthand exactly why you deserve all of it. All the goodness, all the blessings, all the love, all the support, all the help, all the achievement, all of it. All of it. You deserve all of it. You deserve all of it. So let yourself enter into the process, get through that process, and get to a point where you love yourself enough to allow yourself to receive. Creation is waiting to bless you with everything you've ever wanted. Don't pin that on one person. Don't close the doors for other people who can make you happy in ways certain people cannot. Okay? Leave the doors open. There's nothing you cannot handle. There's nothing that will walk through those doors that you cannot handle. When you leave the doors open, according to Michael, you create the potentiality for the winds of change to blow through the hallways of your castle. Fresh air is needed. Fresh air is what you will receive. And all you have to do is open the doors, and the breezes will enter and clear the space, allowing your lungs to take in the very thing it's been craving. I love when he speaks to me that way. I gotta go, you guys. Love you so much. Till tomorrow, we have podcast day. We're going to be talking about some amazing things with Nyaya over here, and we're going to have fun. So, if you want to be part of tomorrow's after party, simply go to thesoulsanctuary.love, thesoulsanctuary.love, and you can join the after party. We're going to have a little chat tomorrow after the podcast, and those are always intense and amazing. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, everyone.